So in the last session, we have discussed about the various field types or the data types which needs to be get selected upon creating a field. Okay, upon creating a field, in order to indicate what type of data the column can hold, we are selecting the data type. So during the data types, we have discussed about the various data types. Like we have discussed about the text type, text area, text area long, text area rich, and the email type, phone type, currency type, checkbox type, URL type, pick list type, pick list multi-select type, date type, date time, time data type, percent, number, text encrypted, geolocation, auto number. So these are the various data types that we have discussed, and their properties also, their functionalities also. Now let's see how to create the object inside yours, how to create the field inside the object. Now we will see that already we have discussed that whenever I'm creating a field is nothing but what? Column. Whenever I'm creating a column inside that table, automatically Salesforce is providing the user interface by default. It is providing the business logic also. Okay, it is providing the business logic also. In this case, no need to design the user interface manually, no need to design the business logic manually by your own. This will be taken care by the Salesforce automatically by default. So in this case, whenever we are doing any operations on the object level, like as adding a field, whenever we are adding a field, then automatically it will be updating the corresponding user interface in the business logic. If you are removing a field from the object, then it will be doing the required changes in that user interface and the business logic as well. So that when coming to the Salesforce, they are purely implementing based on ORM technology, object relationship and the mapping. Whatever the operations that you are performing on the object level, the same thing will be getting reflected on the corresponding dependencies. So now in this case, how to create a field inside the object? Now let's see practically here. For example, come to our Salesforce instance first. Let me log in into a Salesforce instance. So I have logged into my Salesforce instance. So I'm having a position object here with the name position. So now this is a custom object which we have created. So now when I click on new button, it is populating a user interface to me over here. So in this case, this is a custom object. We haven't created any custom fields inside this. We haven't added any of our custom fields. So it will be having some standard fields by default, like ID field, name field, owner field, created by, and the last modified by. These are the 5 fields are available by default. So now inside my position object, I would like to add few more columns also, nothing but few more fields also. Like see. So now here I'm having the position object. Inside this position object, I would like to add few more fields. Like assume that, for example, here, assume that I am a project manager. I'm taking care of the responsibility of the deliverables of a project for a specific client. So I'm taking care of the ownership of that project. I'm the responsible for the development of that project for my client. So now inside my team, I'm having some 10 members. We are developing this application by using some Java programming. So we are having some 10 Java developers, and all these members are working on this project since 1 year. Since 1 year, all the members are working very fine, and we are giving the deliverables on time to the client, so that client is very much satisfied with our deliverables. So recently, two members got resigned in my team. From out of 10, two members got resigned because they got a very good opportunity from a different company with a good package, with an on-site opportunity, so that they got resigned. So now, next week is the last working day for those two members in my project, in my company. From next week onwards, those two people will not be available in my team. Then what we can do? Do I need to run my project with 8 members of team? No. Then what we can do? We need to replace those two positions with some new resources. Nothing but we have to recruit two new people to replace those two positions. Once these two members has been relieved from the company, then those two positions I have to fill with the two new resources. For that we need two Java developer positions. Nothing but we need two Java developer resources who are having some minimum 4 years of experience, who can able to handle the team, who can able to interact with that the client, who is having very good hands-on experience on the Java application developments, everything. I need this skill set for these people. So in this case, I would like to store all this information. Then how can we give this information? So I need to fill up the details about this position and how to share this position information to my HR team, so that the HR people are going to start recruiting the candidates for the position. So at that time, what kind of details that we need to fill up for a new position over here? So in this case, for each and every position, I would like to have a position ID, nothing but a reference number. A reference number. So now what type of data type do we need to use for this column? Reference number is nothing but some position ID. So now, in this case here, Salesforce is allocating a 18 characters ID for each record in every object. But remembering that 18 characters ID is very, very difficult. So that I would like to have a shortest ID. For that here, I would like to use an auto number. I would like to have an auto number field where my position record IDs should be look like this. PID hyphen 100001. Nothing but the first position record ID should be PID hyphen 100001, and for the second position record the ID should be PID hyphen 100002, like that. Keep on, it has to increment the value by 1. So I would like to maintain a shortest reference. Because if you want to identify a position record, then I would like to use this reference ID here, because this is very easy for us to remember. But instead of remembering 18 characters ID, this is very easy for us now. So we have to specify the position name also. Nothing but what is the name of the position. So now do we need to create the name field? No, this is already a standard field. So no need to create this. And the location of the position. Nothing but for which location the position is associated. This is for Bangalore location or Hyderabad location or Chennai or what. So in this case, I would like to populate some set of location values from which the project manager has to select. So now here we have to indicate. Now what type of field do we need to use? I'm using the pick list. This will be of type pick list. And then, so what will be the values you want to populate? list of values, LOVs. So now the list of values are, I would like to populate some Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Noida, Kochi. So these are the various locations in which we are having the development centers. So now from these locations, any one of the location we have to select. But in this case, when coming to the location field should be a mandatory field. This is a mandatory field. This is my requirement. Next one. The next field is the position status. What is the current status of the position record? So now, whether recruiter people have started recruiting the position, or whether this is closed, or whether this has been in hold, or what, I would like to indicate the status over here. For that, I would like to use the pick list field again. In this case, the list of values are, initially the position will be with the status new position, and then I'm changing the status as open approved, nothing but the finance people has approved the budget for this position. And then once the budget has been approved, then the recruitment people, nothing but the HR people, will start recruiting the candidates for the position, so that they are changing the status to in progress. And then recruited, nothing but they got recruited the candidate for the position, or the position is on hold because the project is on hold, it is in pipeline, so that we are changing the status of the position as on hold. And then closed, nothing but we have closed this position. But in this case, by default, it has to select the new position as a default value. New position as a default value for this one. So in this case, whenever I'm trying to be creating a new record, at that time, it has to select the new position as the default value inside that pick list over here. And the next one, number of positions. How many positions are in vacant? Like that already told you, 2 members got resigned. So that here we are having 2 open positions are there for the Java development. So 2 means what? A number. How can we store that number value? By using that number data type. Nothing but this should be a number field. The next one. And then I would like to specify that. Open date of the position. Nothing but from which date the position is in open status. So now for that here, what is the data type that we need to use upon creating this field? We have to select that date data type. And close date, nothing but by what date you would like to close this position. I need the resources by some so and so date, so that we have to select the date over here. But in this case, this is a mandatory here. Nothing but this is a mandatory field. Nothing but compulsory, we have to indicate the target date. Based on this close date, the recruitment people will start recruiting the candidates, and they will find out the right people within the specified close date over here. And then what will be the budget for this position here? Minimum pay, how much pay they can able to offer. What is the minimum package? So now the minimum salary which we can offer. Salary means what? Currency. So now here I'm using that currency data type. And what is the maximum budget for this position? So what is the maximum package that we can offer for this position? So this is also, I would like to specify the currency, which is a mandatory field. So what is your maximum budget for this position? Based on that, we can find out the candidates. Now, the next one. Travel required, nothing but do we have any on-site opportunity for this position or not? If it is yes, indicate that travel is required for this candidate or not. So that here I would like to use a checkbox type. Passport required. So do you need the passport of the candidate? This is also yes or no. For that here I'm using checkbox type. Nothing but true or false. And then the HR email ID. Whenever if the position is exactly suitable to the candidates profile, then he can send the profile to this email ID here. So this is the HR email ID. So which is of type an email type. So which is I would like to make it as a mandatory field. And the HR contact number, the contact number of the HR person. So here I'm specifying the phone type. And the position description, I would like to create a field with the name position description where I need to describe about the position here. So what are the various details about this position? Like I need some 4+ years of experience on so and so technology, and then the person should be having the team handling skills, and he's having the experience on agile methodology, like that everything, the position description. I'm giving this information over here. For that I'm using text area long. And the skills required. What are the various skills that you are expecting from the candidate for this position? So in this case, I'm specifying the text area rich. Why? Because is inside this text area rich, I can able to highlight some skills. Nothing but for this position, we need the candidates who are having some certification mandatorily, so that that point we can able to highlight. Okay, with the help of the text area rich control. So that these are the various of fields I would like to create inside my object over here. Now let's see how to create these fields inside this object practically here one by one. Now, so now the position name field, this is a standard field which is available. The remaining fields we have to create by our own. Then how to create a field? Now let's see practically over here. Now, in order to create a field, we are having a navigation process. So what is the navigation process? Now let's see practically here. Creating a field. So now, upon creating a custom field, we should follow the below navigation. We should follow the below navigation. First one, click on the required objects tab. So now which object? In which object you would like to create the fields? In position object. So that click on that position object tab. Position object tab name is what? Positions. And then expand the force.com quick access menu. And then click on view fields link. Click on view fields link. And go to the custom fields and the relationships section. And then click on new button to create a new field. And the fifth one, select the field type or data type. What type of field that you want to create here. And then click on next button. And then based on the field type, enter the field label. Enter the field label, field name, and the description. And select the required checkbox if needed. If needed. And then click on next button. And select the visible checkbox to make the field to be visible to all profile users. And then click on next button, and then click on save button. So this is the navigation process over here. So now upon creating this field, what will be the observation? In this case, it will create a new column inside the table, and it will add the field onto the page layout, and it will prepare the business logic accordingly. All the three layers of your application will be getting prepared automatically in one shot. That flexibility is available here. So because for every application that already we have discussed in the past, every application is having the three layers, like as the front end, nothing but the user interface, and the business logic, and then the database layer. All these three layers will be getting updated in one shot. So that no need to design the user interface manually, no need to design the business logic manually. Whenever we are adding a column, then automatically it will be adding that field onto the user interface. Now let's see. How can we do this? Now let's see practically here. So now let's create each and every field one by one. So now the first one is the reference number or the reference ID, position reference ID or the position ID, whatever. You can give any name here. For example, I'm giving like as the position ID. Now let's create this field first. Now let's go to your Salesforce instance. So this is the user interface here. Expand the first, click on this positions tab first. Click on this positions tab. Expand the first.com quick access menu, which is available at the right side. Click on view fields link. Okay, click on view fields link. Now it is providing the user interface about that object. So this is the position object, which is having the ID position underscore underscore C. Inside this, it will be having the two sections, standard fields section, nothing but these are the ready-made columns available inside this position underscore underscore C table. This is the table name, position underscore underscore C. Underscore underscore C represents what? C means custom. This is a custom table which we have created. So now these are the columns given by the Salesforce by default. ID column, name column, owner column, created by, last modified by. So these are the 5 columns are ready-madely available. But these columns are not sufficient. I want to store some more data about this position. So that I'm creating my own custom column. So that here we have to go to that custom fields. Nothing but custom field means what? Column. I'm creating some custom fields inside my object here. So that go to the custom fields and relationships section and then click on new button in order to create a new field inside this. Click on new button. Now it is populating the set of field types to you. Like we have none selected, nothing but nothing has been selected. We are having auto number. We have formula. As you forget about this formula and relationship types, these are we are discussing in the relationships concept. And then we have checkbox type, currency type, date type, date time, email, geolocation, number, percent, phone, pick list multi-select, text type, text area long, text area rich, text encrypted, time, and the URL. These are all these data types and their properties, their functionalities we have discussed. Now time is a new data type which has been introduced by Salesforce in the Winter 18 release. So this is the new data type which we are having in the current release. Because if anybody asks in the entry point of view, what are the new data types introduced by the Salesforce in this Winter 18, then you can say time. Time is a new data type which we are having in the current release. Now, so now here I would like to create a field. So that select that field type, any one of the field type here. So now what field I want to create? Position ID. What is the data type? Auto number. Now select the data type as auto number. I'm selecting this auto number data type. And then click on next button. And specify the field label. Field label is the position ID. And then that already we have discussed that you are having the two more properties are there for the auto number, display format and the starting number. So in which format you want me to generate the position reference IDs? Like as my position ID should be PID hyphen, it should have the 6-digit number. So that I'm specifying the format. Inside that flower braces, we have to indicate how many number of digits that you would like to place after that PID. And then from which number you would like to start generating this. I would like to start generating the position IDs with some 200001. Nothing but first position record ID is PID hyphen 200001. Second position record ID is PID hyphen 200002. Like that, keep on, it will be incrementing the value by 1. And in this case, when coming to the position object, if you have already some records, so now already I am having some 2 records are there. For these records also, do you want me to generate the auto numbers? Yes. For that, here I am selecting the checkbox, generate auto numbers for existing records also. So that this is the checkbox we have to select over here. Now click on next button. If you want to give any description, then you can give the description. If you want to give any help text, nothing but the tooltip text, then you can provide that. Click on next button and then make this field to be get visible to all the profile users by selecting the visible checkbox. I'm selecting the visible checkbox. Click on next button and make it save. When you click on save, it is creating a new column. When you come down, it is creating a column over here. So now this is a field. So what is the column name? P position underscore ID underscore underscore C. This is a column name which is available inside the table, so that whenever you are querying the data through programming in future, then always we have to use this column name. Don't use the field labels. Always we have to use field name or API name to query the data, because these are the call names which are indicating the actual column names inside the table. Okay, now. So now this is the field we have created. Next one, I want to create one more. Click on new button. The same steps we have to repeat over here. Okay, the same steps we have to keep on repeat upon creating that remaining fields. Now the next field is I would like to create a location field. Location will be of type what? Pick list. So that I'm selecting the pick list type over here. Click on next button. So now specify the field label as location field. Now I would like to enter the values. For this one, we are having the values property. Now here select, this is the second option. Enter values. This is the second option. Don't select the global pick list. So now select the second option. We'll see global pick list concept separately over there. Now click on this particular enter values. It is providing the text area to enter the values which needs to be get populated. I would like to populate Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Noida, and then I'm selecting that, entering one more value, Kochi. So these are the values I would like to populate over here. Now, whenever we are going to be entering the values or displaying the values, you want me to display these values in the same order or you want me to sort? For that, here we are having a checkbox is available, that is display values alphabetically. Nothing but sort the values. Now select that checkbox over here. I want to sort the values in alphabetical order. So that I'm selecting this checkbox over here, the first checkbox. And then click on next button. So that when coming to the field, location is a mandatory field for me here. Now I want to make it as required. For that, here you will be having that required checkbox at the bottom. So this is the required checkbox. Now select this required checkbox in order to make this field required, nothing but mandatory. Select that required checkbox, go to the next, make it save and new, because I want to create one more. Click on save and new. I want to create one more. Now let's go back to your user interface. Observe what will happen in this case. I'm going back to my user interface. When you click on new, what happened over here? The position name is available and the location field also automatically visible here. Have you added this location field on my user interface manually? No, just we have created the field, that's it. Whenever we are creating the field, it is creating the column, it is providing the field on the user interface, it is updating the business logic also. Nothing but all the three layers are available in one shot. This is the functionality of Salesforce. So now inside this location field, what values are there? Whatever the location values that you have entered, all those values are available in the sorting order. These are the values that we have entered. So that all these values are available in the sorting order to you by default. And that too, this field is a mandatory. Nothing but it is displaying with that red color bar symbol, which is indicating this is a mandatory field over here. Now, the next one. I'm creating the next field. The next field is the position status, which is also of type pick list. So that I'm selecting the pick list data type, click on next, specify the label as the position status, position status. I would like to enter the values, select the second checkbox in order to enter the values. I am populating the values like as new position, open approved, in progress, recruited, on hold, closed. So these are the values I would like to populate inside my position status field. But upon creating that record, by default, inside this position status field, it has to select the value as new position. Whenever I'm creating a new position record, by default, the status should be new position. So that it should be selecting that new position over here. So that I'm selecting the second checkbox over here. Use the first value as default. This is the second checkbox. I'm selecting that. I don't want to arrange these values in the alphabetical order because this is a stages where we have defined inside my organization. Nothing but every position has to be come across these stages in the same order. Now, for that here I'm defining that so that I'm selecting that second checkbox, use first value as the default value. Now, go to the next. Make it visible to all profile users by selecting the visible checkbox. Go to the next. Make it save in new because I want to create some more fields. When you go to the user interface, refresh this user interface. Now we got that position status field also, but by default here it has selected that new position value by default. Based on the options which are selected, it will be providing that. When you expand this one, you can able to see the remaining options as it is. The options are available here. The next one, next field. The next field is number of locations. That will be of type number, so that I'm selecting that number data type. Go to the next button. The field label is number of positions. So this is a number type that already told you it will be allowing us to enter maximum of 18-digit number. So now here I am sticking to 3 numbers only here, nothing but 3 digits, that is enough, nothing but 999 up to. So now here in this case, 3-digit number. I want to make this number of positions are required field, so that I'm selecting that required checkbox. Click on next. Go to the next. Make it save in new. Now go to your user interface. Refresh this user interface. Now we got the field number of positions. Up to 3 digits we can able to enter inside this, not more than that. The next field. Next field is what? Open date and the close date. Now, that will be of type date type. Now select the date type. Go to the next. Specify the field label, open date, click on next button, and make it visible by selecting the visible checkbox. Go to the next, make it save in new. I'm creating one more field, that is close date, which is also of date type, so that I'm selecting the date type again. Go to the next, specify the field name, and close date is a mandatory field, so that I'm selecting that required checkbox. So now select that required checkbox. Go to the next and click on next, click on save in new because I want to create some more fields. Now go to your user interface, refresh the user interface. We got these two fields, open date field, close date field, automatically. Now, the next one, minimum pay and the maximum pay. Both will be of type currency. So that I'm selecting that currency data type over here to create that field. Click on next. Specify the field label as minimum budget or minimum pay. So it is allowing us to enter maximum of 18 digits and I'm restricting to some 10 digits. Minimum pay. Go to the next. Make it visible to all the profile users by selecting visible checkbox. And then click on save in new because I want to create one more. So that select that type as the currency again in order to store the maximum package which we are going to offer for this position. So now here I'm specifying that the maximum pay at the maximum budget. So now I'm restricting the length to some 10, but this is a mandatory field because I want to know what is the maximum budget for this position, so that I'm making it as required. So I'm maintaining it as a mandatory field. Compulsory, the project manager has to specify what is the highest package he can offer for this position. Now click on next, go to the next, make it save in new. Nothing but we need to create one more field. Go to your user interface now, refresh this user interface. Now we have created the field minimum pay and the maximum budget. The next one. After that, we have to create the travel required and the passport required. I'm selecting the checkbox. Travel required, passport required will be of type checkboxes, so that I'm selecting these two. Select the checkbox, click on next button, specify that the field name, travel required, which should be a checkbox. By default, it should not be selected over here. Click on next, make it visible to all the profile users and click on next and make it save in new. I want to create one more field. So that is also of type checkbox type, nothing but the passport required field. Click on next, passport required. This is also unselected by default. Go to the next, make it visible to all the profile users by selecting the visible checkbox and click on next and click on save in new. I want to create one more. Go to the user interface, refresh this user interface. Now we got these two checkboxes, travel required and the passport required. Two checkboxes are available to you. Next, I want to create the two more fields. One is of type email ID, second one is of type phone number. I'm selecting that email type field. Go to the next. Now, HR email ID in order to send the profiles. This is a mandatory field, so that I'm selecting the required checkbox over here. Go to the next. Click on next button. Make it save in new. And the next one I'm creating the contact number, nothing but the phone. For that, I'm selecting the data type as phone. Click on phone. Go to the next. I'm specifying the field label as HR contact number. I'm not making it as required. It is normal. It is an optional field. Click on next. Make it visible to all the profile users by selecting the visible checkbox. And then click on save in new. Now go to your user interface. Refresh the user interface now. We got these two fields also. Now let's go to create two new fields over here. Now text area long, which I'm going to create in order to store the position description. Click on next button and specify that the field label as the position description. Position description, where it is allowing us to enter maximum of 1,31,072 characters. The number of lines to be get visible is some 5. The 5 lines of content has to be get visible first. And then go to the next. Make it visible to all the profile users by selecting the visible checkbox and click on save in new. I want to create one more field, which is of type text area rich control. Select the text area rich. Click on next button. Specify the field label as the skills required. What are all the various skills that you are expecting from the candidate? The number of lines to be get visible is 10 at a time. Go to the next. Make it visible to all the profile users by selecting visible checkbox. And then click on next. Click on save, because we don't want to create any more fields. All the fields we have created over here. Now let's go to your user interface. Refresh this user interface. Now your fields are available here. All the fields are available to you. So these are the fields. Nothing but upon creating the field, what happened? It is creating the column. It is providing the user interface. It is providing the business logic also by default for you. Now, what are the column names now? Go to that fields. When you go to these fields, these are the column names which are available inside your table. So whenever we are querying the data through programming, we have to use these column names, like close underscore date underscore underscore C, HR underscore contact underscore number underscore underscore C, HR underscore email underscore ID underscore underscore C, location underscore underscore C. These are the column names are available which we have to use to query the data here. So don't use the field labels, use the field names upon querying the data, because these are the various names with which it has created the column inside our table. So that here we have to use these column names in order to query the data from your table through programmatically. In the entire development or in future also through programming, if you want to query the data, we have to use these column names. Don't use the field labels. Field labels are only for the display purpose in the user interface. Field names are the actual column names inside the table. Okay. Now let's see over here. So now that already we have discussed, upon creating the field, it is providing the column, it is providing the user interface also. Then what about the business logic here? I need to cross check that. After entering the data with this inside these fields, when I click on save button, will my record is saving or not? I need to cross check that. So let me create a position record. I'm creating a position record, some Microsoft.NET developer. So which is for some Hyderabad location. This is a new position. Number of vacancies are some 4. Open date is today's date, so that I'm selecting the today's date. Close date, I'm selecting that. Plus, just click on that text box. It is providing the pop-up calendar. From that, you can select what will be the close date. The close date is the December some 15th is the close date. December 15th. Minimum budget is we are able to offer minimum package is some 10 lakhs. And the maximum package some 14 lakhs. And for this position, we need the passport. For that, I'm selecting that passport required. And the HR email ID, some Ramesh at the rate some gmail.com. HR contact number, I'm entering some value. Position description. So we have to give the description about the position. We have to give the description about that position over here. Now the description is required 5+ years of experience in Microsoft .NET application development. Now, should be able to handle the client and a team of 5 members. Should have the experience on C# .NET, ASP.NET, SQL Server, Oracle, and some JavaScript. These are the skills. Now, what are the skills that we are expecting here? So we are expecting that required 5+ years of experience in developing enterprise applications by using C# .NET, ASP.NET, SQL Server, and Oracle. Expertise in database design, and SQL, PLSQL programming, and then ability to manage a team, and should be an individual contributor, and then I'm specifying that required Microsoft .NET certification mandatorily. So this point I would like to highlight over here so that I'm making it as bold. And then prior experience on working with agile methodology development. So these are the various skills that we are expecting from the candidate over here. I have entered some position description and the skills are required over here, and I have stored that whole information. Now click on save. When I click on save button, it has to create the record over here. Click on save. The record has been created successfully. So now for this position, this is the position name is MS.NET developer. And these are the details about the position over here. For this position, it has allocated the ID reference number as PID-200003 because already we are having 2 position records are there, and now this is the 3rd position, so that the ID is PID-200003. And then the remaining details also has been stored successfully over here. Nothing but business logic is also available by default. Now let's click on that positions tab. Now it is going to be displaying only the position names over here inside this table. I want to show the remaining information also. Now further that already you are aware of this navigation. Expand the first.com quick access menu. Click on edit columns. Nothing but what columns to be get visible inside that table. Click on edit columns. Along with the position name, I want to show the reference number, nothing but the position ID. I want to show, so for that add that columns over here which you want to display. and for which location the position is available, and what is the position status, and the close date of the position. And then I would like to specify the maximum budget for this position. So these are the columns information I would like to make it visible. Now click on save. The record information is visible here. Now along with that, I want to show the contact person's email ID also. Click on edit columns and the number of positions I want to show. Number of positions. Now make it save. Now the details are visible to you. Like we are able to show that position name and the position IDs, the location, position status, close date, maximum budget, and the number of positions are available. The whole information we can able to display. If you want to create one more position, then create one more. So now let's to open this. Like nothing but I want to create one more .NET developer position for my different location, for my different development center. At that time, no need to enter the same data again and again and again. Just to open any of the .NET related record, click on clone button. Clone is nothing but what? Creating a copy. Creating a copy. Click on clone. I'm giving that information here. Microsoft.NET technical lead. Nothing but it is it for the tech lead position here. This is for some Bangalore location. Position status is new. Number of vacancies are only one. The close date targeted the same. Minimum budget is some 15 lakhs. Maximum budget some 20 lakhs. Here we are expecting some 10 plus years of experience. Here we are expecting some 10 plus years of experience. So that I have updated the data here. Click on save button. Now the record has been created successfully. This is ID PID-200004. When you click on positions tab, we can able to see that the next position record, that is Microsoft.NET technical lead. This is the ID, location, status, close date, maximum budget, and the number of positions. Like that, the whole information we can able to display over here. So this is the way we are going to be creating the fields inside this object over here. But the thing is, when you click on new button, it is opening that user interface, but all the fields are getting visible inside a single column itself. But this user interface is not looking like good for me. I'm not satisfied with this look and feel. Then what we can do? Do we have any option to customize this? Like for example, when you go to the accounts tab, when you click on new button to create a new account record, so now they have arranged the field in the well arranged manner. Like they have added so many sections: account information section, address information section, and then they have added additional information section and the description information section. Like that, they have placed the 4 sections. In each section, they have placed some fields. Normal account related fields they have placed inside this section over here. In one column, they have placed some fields. In the second column, they have placed some fields. Address related fields they have placed inside another section, that is address information section. In one column, the billing address, and in the second column, the shipping address. Like that, here they have arranged the fields by creating the various sections and by arranging the fields in 2 columns over here. Is it possible for me to do like this? Yes. Then how can we do that here? So for that here, in order to customize this particular page layout, nothing but this is called as a page layout. In order to customize this page layout, we have a concept called as page layout customization, which we are going to be discussing in the tomorrow's session. In tomorrow's session, we are going to discuss about a feature called as page layout customization. What exactly a page layout? So now how many page layouts are available for a object by default? Can we create any more page layouts or not? How many modes are there for each and every page layout? What are those 2 modes? And then how to customize this page layout? Up to what level we can customize and what are not customizable, we'll see practical in tomorrow's session. Page layout customization is very, very important. So in tomorrow's session, we are discussing about the page layout customization feature over here. And then we'll move forward to some other features as well as part of the business implementation.